What up, boys, and welcome back to yet another video. So in today's video, we're taking a look at one of the first proper gold farms that you can do while leveling. You can start this at around level 22 to 24. Really depends on which class you're playing. And this gold farm is really good and something that people do at later levels as well, even though it doesn't yield experience. But now that we have Classic Fresh, you might as well combine it with some sweet XP gain to catch up to some of those quests that you might be after. So before we take a look at the farm itself, massive shout out to all of you guys for the support on the complete gold guide for Classic WoW. It really does mean a lot to me. This gold guide features the best ways to make gold at level 60, but not only that, it's also perfectly tailored for a Classic Fresh release, as it has the best combinations of XP grinding and gold farming. So that way, you always have enough gold to be able to upgrade your spells and abilities, level your professions, and even purchase a mount when you reach level 40 and level 60. So right now, you can get it for 50% off using the discount code STUDENT. So that means only $9.99, and you can grab it with the link down below in the description. But now back to the farm. Now the location takes place right here in wetlands. In fact, this entire area, like right here in wetlands, are going to be filled with these whelps. You have a bunch of different whelps, but you should kill every single one of them. They do hyper respawn, so you're never going to run out of whelps. It's also such a big area that even if you have a lot of competition, it doesn't really mean anything. You'll never run out of mobs on this farm. Now, these whelps are relatively easy to kill, where these red whelps, they don't even cast anything. They have like this small cast, but they're mainly melee mobs with one ranged ability. Super easy for casters. Lost whelps are going to cast fireballs at you, but they are extremely easy to kill. So if you play a melee as well, extremely easy to kill these guys. And the reason why I want to farm these, the cool thing is that even though they're dragons, they still drop copper and silver. So you do get some gold out of that. Obviously, that's not going to be where you make the majority of your gold. The majority of your gold will be made with the items you can obtain farming these guys. So you have something like the small flame sack, which is the best item for like out of this farm. The small flame sacks, and this is like the earliest farm that you can actually obtain these flame sacks at. And most people that have played Classic before, they know the importance of the small flame sacks. It's a regent for the fire protection pot, which a lot of people are going to need. They're also needed for Dragon Breath Chili, the consumable. So these are heavily used, and therefore the small flame sacks are going to be worth good gold. Now, I don't advise you necessarily to sell these early on as you're farming them, because they always trend upwards as we get closer to Molten Core and Onyxia release, which is going to be about 3 weeks after release of Classic Fresh. So if you have the economy for it, I would save these. But if you desperately need gold and they're at a fair price, sure, you can sell them to be able to afford your mount or whatever it might be. Next on the list, we have Sharp Claws. Kind of similar story. They're needed for rage pots. So they typically sell on the auction house. But a lot of the times you're gonna end up vendoring these as well. But it's an additional item that you can definitely sell on the auction house. Large Fangs is another item. It only vendors for nearly a silver, but it's needed for the Mighty Rage Pot, the Great Rage Pot, a couple of enchants, and also a couple of crafts right here. And then, of course, we have the Tiny Crimson Whelpling. And this one is funny. It's a pet. And back in 2019 Classic release and Season of Mastery and Season of Discovery, people were always like, why would anyone want to buy a pet? But people do. I sold them and like made videos about them in 2019 Season of Mastery and Season of Discovery. They always ended up selling, and it was a nice, drastical increase to your gold per hour, getting something like the Tiny Crimson Whelpling. Now, obviously, also as you're going to be killing these mobs, they do have a decent loot table. They have some specific items, like they can drop the smoldering set, which increases your fire damage. Now, this was better in something like Season of Discovery, where people actually level as fire, where everyone is pretty much playing Frost Mage leveling now. But they can drop a bunch of decent green and also blue items. These mobs right here, and of course you can get like a large blue sack, the 10 slot bag as well. So overall, just a great farm to do for like a level or two, just so you catch up with quests in classic. We all know that feeling of just basically just running quests alone, and eventually you'll find yourself in an awkward position where you don't really have that many quests in the next zone. You might be too low level to do a couple of the quests, so it's better to just grind out a level or two before you go to a new zone, so that you can pick up more quests and level even faster, instead of going back and forth and flying back and forth to hand in a couple of quests at a time. So that was pretty much it for today's video, but I have a shit ton of videos for Classic Fresh coming soon, so don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see those. And of course, make sure that you take a look at the complete gold guide for Classic WoW, linked down below in the description. Appreciate you all watching, and I'll see you all back in at tomorrow's video. But until then, bye bye.